Welcome to the Oneness Wellness Lifestyles show. I am your host, Shifat, the natural healing voice of the soul of Mother Earth. I'm so excited and happy to be with you today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As we say, gratitude for being here on today. We got a great show for you. We've got a live studio audience. We're doing the studio thing, okay? So come on down when you get the notice. Come on down and be in the studio with us so we can have some audience fun. And audience, give yourselves a hand. Yay! So we are so excited about the show today. So here's the lineup. But before that, go get your blue pen and your white paper and get ready to take copious notes, because you know you're about to get that natural healing information you've been seeking. I'm here with my wonderful co-host. Mr. Mike is on the mic today with me, co-hosting.
Thank you.
Welcome. And so here's how it's going to happen. We're going to talk about health and healing right now. So at the top of your paper, you want to write down health and healing. I'm going to go over two very, very important, I would say supplements, but it's actually food, right? We think of it like supplements, but it's food. And after that, we're going to talk about 1,000 Great Minds, how you can get a house and a car, truck, van, or SUV, no debt, no mortgage, no rent, no car payments, no debt to pay. And then we're going to talk about your healthy mind, right? So stay tuned. All right, so we're going to just roll right into it on today. So you see we're in the forest, right? Well, why is that? Because I want to talk to you today. Michael and I have been having a conversation about this herb called ashtaba. And I knew it from its American name. And when the person brought it to me, as a matter of fact, when Dr. Bay mentioned it, and not many products at all have this wonderful healing herb in it. And it's ashtaba. So go ahead and look that up, right? And Michael and I were talking about it, and we noticed that it's in one of the foods that we are that we are working with. So when we are working with you as clients, as participants, when we're working with you, we want to make sure that you understand what it is that we're bringing to you. So let's talk about what some of the things that we discovered. What struck your fancy, your mind, got you thinking, Mr. Mike?
About the ashtaba? That Dr. Bay has it in one of his main ingredients, one of his main products.
Yes.
And he holds it very highly, being an MD himself. In addition, the Koreans have that same ingredient in some of their products that they have, and they hold it very highly too. Yes.
So, and that's what really got me. That's what really got me excited when I saw it. So we're talking about this herb. So what does it do? What does it do? Now, you know that I can't make medical claims, right? So this is my disclaimer. Everything that grows on the earth, the stuff that grows from Mother Earth, is what heals. That's my disclaimer. Okay. So this ashtaba grows in the earth. It's a gift from Mother Earth, right? And so it is known, and this is from peer-reviewed medical stuff, reports, all right, that I'm gleaning this from. And so it is known to work on diabetes and also cancer. So let me just give you some of the information, and you're going to recognize the name. Some of you may recognize the name of the ashtaba as something that you have heard of before. So it has to study the beneficial effects of this herbal preparation that we have. I'm not going to say what the name of it is, but we have it, and it's composed of angelica. Right? You've heard of angelica before, right? And it works on helping people who have diabetes 1. And also it is shown to be a treatment that reduces hypoglycemia It improves glucose tolerance, okay, and increased blood insulin. Increased blood insulin. Who can use that? Who can use that? You? Someone you know? Someone in your family? Right? Who could use that? Also, it restores the thymus weight. So we know that the thymus gland is one of the endocrine glands. And when your endocrine glands are out of balance, your whole body is out of sync. So it restores the weight of the thymus gland and also increases the number of white blood cells. That is major, major. Those are your fighter cells. Those are the cells for your immunity, for our immunity. Works in helping with the spleen, and also because it's anti-diabetic, it again regulates that blood glucose and creates homeostasis. Homeostasis. So what is homeostasis? I don't want to use big words, and that's why I'm not reading all the gobbledygook, right? But homeostasis is when your body is in balance. Is in balance, okay? And so this regulation of the blood glucose, the regulation of the blood glucose makes it anti-diabetic. And so when it brings your body into homeostasis, it also is building your immunity by increasing and helping your white blood cells. Now that's all about this ashtaba, right? How powerful it is. So what was one of the things that stuck out in your mind that Dr. Bay said that the ashtaba does in terms of how it grows and when it's cut down?
He mentioned that it grows in one day.
If you cut it down?
Yes, it grows in one day. Interesting thing about a plant that if it's cut down, it grows in one day. Mm-hmm. It reminds me of one of those sea animals. I don't know if the shark or what. When the fin is broken, it comes back, or the sea.
Okay. I know frogs can grow their legs back.
Right. That kind of thing.
I think, isn't that true? Frogs, did y'all ever hear that before? Right? If you cut off a frog leg, it'll grow back. You don't know? Oh, you're from the city. Okay. Okay, me too. That's what I heard. Right? So y'all let me know. Y'all go to the website, go to 1000greatminds.com or go to She Fat Harmonious Healing and just drop me a note and let me know that do frogs actually grow their legs back? Well, one of the things, let's get back to talk about humans. Can we do that? So one of the things about humans, what's the only organ, right? We do have one organ that when it's damaged, it can regenerate itself. Do y'all know what it is? The mind? The mind is actually non-local. We're going to talk about that. Okay, what is it? No, what is it? It can regenerate itself, right? The liver. Yes. Woo! I wish I had some bells and whistles, right? You're going to get some sound effects. So, yes, wonderful. The liver can actually regenerate itself. And so and that's really important because the liver itself is the filter for everything in the body, right? If you know anyone who is on a lot of prescription drugs, right? That's one of the first things that we know we need to protect is the liver, right? People that, and it's not only people who drink alcohol that have to deal with this, right? Cirrhosis of the liver can happen just because of your not so great diet, right? But we know that the liver can regenerate, and that is helps with our immunity. So we have what we call functional food supplements. Okay, functional food supplements that are all natural. So Mr. Mike, you've known me for about 7 or 8 months now, right? And so I'm gonna put myself on the spot. What do you notice about my eating habits?
They're very sticky. very sticky eating habits, and you're very conscious of what you eat, and you reject food that is not alive.
Okay, yes. and that's how it should be for all of us, yes. Right? And so do I eat perfect? No. But it's about being a light, right? And so when we know that all the healing comes from the plants, right? All the healing comes from the plants, then what we want to do is live foods for live bodies, right? Live foods for live bodies, right? If you continue to eat dead foods, then your body, your cells die faster because you're not giving it any life. And so we did a show this morning with Tone X, right? And he wanted to know the secret to. I'm actually celebrating 50 years of grassroots natural healing. Yeah, 50 years. And so he wanted to know what is the key to your longevity and what appears to be youthfulness, right? And so we talked about a lot of things, and I didn't tell him. We just kind of talked around it. But I want to share it with you, okay? The less you eat, the better you will feel, right? Once you get past that place where your body is used to you putting food in it 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 or 10 times a day, or always chewing gum or having something, right, that seems like food, there's a period you can get past that. The less you eat, the less your digestive system has to work. And your digestive system, our digestive system, is the hardest working system in our body because we never give it a break, right? The only break it gets was when we're sleeping, right? And for those who raid the refrigerator at night or eat too late at night, it's not, your body's not resting. It's digesting food, right? And then you wonder why you don't feel well, okay? So all of this is important. And so I asked Mr. Mike that question because when you work together and you live together, right, you get to see how we each are. So we've only been married for 7 months. So he's getting to see who it is that I am and how I be, right, and what I eat and what I won't eat, right?
Still in orientation.
We're still in orientation, as he says.
Yes.
Okay.
And I have to fast a lot with you because I don't know when I like to eat with you, and I have to fast because I don't know when you want to eat and you eat avocado quite frequently, and you eat that straight out.
Yeah, just about every day, avocado right out of the, little salad dressing on top, maybe some chopped onions and garlic or something like that. But I use the case. I mean, it's really neat. It's the food that comes with its own container, right? You just take the seed out. Mm-hmm.
And it does me well to fast. And
so we fast. So we're going to come right back after this message, and we're going to continue on just a little bit more, but we're going to get into 1,000 Great Minds. Is that all right? All right. Thank you so much. Stay tuned. You're watching the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. Happy Healthy Healing Day. Shifa here with some actionable tips. I took some notes from a program that I've been paying attention to, and it helped me grow, so I just want to pass it on, okay? So get your blue pen and your white pad and get ready, because this is going to go really fast. Here's some actionable tips on how to maximize your income. How to maximize your income, all right? So what's the first thing you have to do? Think creatively. Think creatively. We talk about this all the time in Oneness Wellness Lifestyles. It's about being creative. How creative are you? We create value in our lives based on how creative we are, right? Our creativity and the service that we provide, whether that's a product or whether that's a service, right? That's how we can begin to increase our income. Now, and this is really about maximizing it. So get creative, right? And we talked about the 3 most important things. And if you missed that episode, I'm sure it'll air one time again. But you got to have your 3 most important things so you can do this. Next, you want to reduce your expenses. When we talk about cash flow, you can reduce your expenses. And how can you do that? Look at where you're eating out. How much are you eating out? How much are you spending when you eat out? How much is that latte costing you? Whether you get it from Starbucks, or you get it from Dunkin' Donuts, or you get it from Wawa, 7-Eleven, wherever it is, just start adding that up, okay? Also, your subscriptions. Scan your bank account and look at where you might have some dormant subscriptions, either to, back in the day we used to get subscriptions to magazines. Now it's to apps, right, online. So take a look at that. Do you have money that's seeping out like sand between your fingers, just falling through, that you're not really paying attention to? So manage. This is about how to manage your expenses. And next, negotiate everything, right? Negotiate everything. If they say it's this much, you say, well, I'll give you this much, right? Negotiate everything. Everything is negotiable, all right? And fourth, downgrade, right? So this is one that we don't necessarily like to think about, talk about. We don't want to downgrade, but yeah, sometimes that's a good idea. You know, you might be, if you're like most people, living 2.5 times above the amount of money that you actually bring in the house. So you can kind of ratchet that down a little bit and save some money and save the money. So this is how you maximize your income. I'm Shifa, and it's been my pleasure to be here and share that with you. Welcome back. You're watching the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle show as I am pulling up, so last segment, what did we talk about? We talked about Ashtaba, right? Ashtaba, yes, which is Angelica, and how it has the ability to bring your body into homeostasis from type 1 diabetes, and how it also is cancer preventative because it builds up the T cells in the body, okay? And so in anything, let me just say this part, anything that's good for diabetes is good for your coronary health, right? Your heart health, okay? So one last point, omega-3 is also very necessary for your health and longevity. And we have a connection with, you heard Mr. Mike talk about Korea. So we have a connection with Korea because their government, talk a little bit about that, because we're going to segue into some business things now. So talk a little bit about what you found out about Korea as it relates to their economy.
Yes, South Korea in 1997 had an economic breakdown, so to speak, and the World Bank came in to coach them into better economics so that they could recover and reconstruct. Mm-hmm. And this particular company in Korea is very adamant to that point because it has chosen to produce quality products at a price that's affordable to the world. Mm-hmm. And they're operating in so many countries at this point. But it is a phenomenal program, and when I say phenomenal, I mean that it's something that everyone can use. It's on a level playing field in terms of pricing, and they've done a good job with their business plan to get it in so many countries in the time frame that they have. So the products are great.
What was the type of economy they started practicing?
It's more holistic type of economy. Okay. And it's well balanced, they say, and it's righteous. Righteous. That's what they say.
Righteous and well balanced. Yes. This is a country.
Yes.
And so what I was really excited about is that they base their economy. It's called a knowledge economy, right? They have a ministry of knowledge economy.
The knowledge ministry.
Not right.
Knowledge economy ministry.
Right, knowledge economy ministry, and they turned their whole nation around by bringing their atomic research center for the whole country into developing what the rest of the world needs to be healthy. South Korea, okay? So we have a relationship with them, right? Through 1,000 Great Minds. And so when we are talking about our, what's possible for us all, we will go to the ends of the earth, okay, to find what we need. And I'll tell you that Mr. Mike is a researcher to the bone. Do you hear me? This
Not
man
quite
right
as
here.
deep as you. Nowhere near it.
So we got to because we want to make sure that when we bringing you information, that it is good for you, okay? And here's what we know, that the system, the medical system as it exists today in the United States of America, makes its living, right, profitability off the suffering of the people. Cancer is big business, all right? Don't get it twisted. Cancer is big business. And so our heart goes out to all those who are no longer with us because of that insidious disease, but it can be cured. Okay? Trust and believe it can be cured. You just have to have the desire so that the universe can bring to you what it is that is necessary. And so I want you to take this conversation that Mr. Mike and I are having with this studio audience as the universe talking to you, saying that what you're looking for is available for your natural health and healing. And so from this knowledge economy, we want to talk about 1,000 Great Minds now, because the parallel was like almost scary to me, in terms of how much research you've done for 1,000 Great Minds and having attracted this broad array of people to the platform to come up with solutions. So tell us about 1,000 Great Minds.
1,000 Great Minds is a problem-solution-oriented organization. Problem-solution-oriented. And what that means is when we hear about the problem, the next thing we need to hear is about the solution. And we don't need to hear about the problem again. Such as we rehearse historical problems and we know what they are, and no one's paying attention to the solution. So 1,000 Great Minds is that think tank and also Shark Tank that has the capacity, the ability to capitalize solutions and put them at such a quality perspective at resolving the problems, and at such a righteous price so that everyone who needs the solution can get it. And we will oversee the nationwide housing program that will enable every desiring person in the country to get a house and a car, truck, van, or SUV with no rent, mortgage, car payments, or debt to pay. So we want to forget about debt, like we forgot about the old dial-up telephone.
Okay. So this is a new model of reality, right? And that's a huge chunk for people to even process, right? So I can have a house, a car, or truck, van, or SUV, no rent, no mortgage, no car payments, and no debt to pay. New model of reality, new systems for living. Okay?
Yes, and I compare that to that we all can fly. And you don't need pilot's license to fly. You don't need pilot's education to fly. You just get on the plane where the pilot has all of that and you fly. So one individual, his capacity, his intellect, his skill can serve everyone. So on one directive, get on the plane, let's fly. That's how it should be. And I think the world needs to move to that point to where we can move more instantly to solve problems. Critical problems.
So there's an equation that you have with government and business. What's that about? Like how
Yes. Robert Kiyosaki's book, Rich Brother, Rich Sister. Robert says that the government is traveling at 3 miles per hour and entrepreneurs are traveling at 97. 1,000 Great Minds is an entrepreneur. A worldwide entrepreneur.
Yes.
So we should move more instantly than distantly. We have to make a lot of decisions, and the solutions are delayed. So we want instant solutions rather than delayed solutions.
Okay. So one of the things that's really interesting, and to our studio audience, do you notice that people are always talking about the problem? Right? There's always a reiteration of the problem every day. There's basically two conversations that people are having. I'm sick and I'm broke, or I'm broke and I'm sick, right? And when you talk to people, you get an organ recital of all the organs that don't work anymore, right? And so when when we are, I'm not making light of it, but it's almost ad nauseum, okay, that we talk about the problem so much. And what I love about 1,000 Great Minds is that it's a collective, right, of us who come together to create the solutions and take the directives and put those things into place so that we can move toward a new paradigm, a new model of reality.
Yes, it's also a new operating procedure that enables the 1,000 Great Minds to, we get things done 1,000 times faster, better, faster, easier. And we have 2,000 eyes watching, 2,000 ears listening, 2,000 hands helping, and 1,000 Great Minds assessing what's going on. It's a new way of management to focus on one problem, come up with the solution, put structure around it, and bring it to market. Come up with an idea, put structure around it, and bring it to market. And it's just that simple. Mm-hmm. And we would have the capital. We have the capital to capitalize any great ideas that any of the great minds come up with, or anyone on the planet who enters their idea into the 1,000 Great Minds.
That's a lot. So let me.
Or submits their idea.
Or submits their idea. Yes. So, of course, there's a whole lot of working parts, right? And we are encouraging people to go to 1000greatminds.com and set up an appointment so that you can see the whole presentation. And even when you see it for the first time, you go, "Oh, that's great," but I had to study the thing, right, in order to really see all of the moving parts and how powerfully productive it is at every iota of the plan, right? All of the nuances and all of that. And that's why I say the type of research that Mr. Mike does and how he applies himself. And this has been over how many years now, putting this plan together?
Well over 10 years.
Over 10
years.
Marinating
on it, yes.
Yeah, over 10 years.
Yes.
Well, I'm 50 years in the healing, so things take time to mature. They take time to mature. And what we know is that nothing can stop that which time has come. Okay? And so we know it's our time, right? It's our time. And so we are grateful that the plan is already in place, and all we have to do is get on the plane, as you say, right? And we can fly.
Yes. And in 76 hours, over 5 months, we intend to stabilize each of the 1,000 Great Minds. Each Great Mind gets a house and 2 cars, in addition to $500,000 income set aside, $100K a year for 5 years. After working 76 part-time hours over 5 months, we transition from where we are to where we would be. That's called the Economic Stabilization Plan for the 1,000 Great Minds. They have no mortgage, rent, car payments, or debt to pay, no utilities to pay, no homeowners association fees to pay, $12,000 clothing allowance. You've heard that before. And also become co-owners, have co-ownership interests in 8 core nationwide businesses operating in 3,142 counties, Atlantic to the Pacific, the bank, trust, real estate company, land development, construction, film production, insurance, online university, temporary transition staffing company, environmental engineering company. And it is a wealth platform that leads us to wealth and lifelong security.
Powerful. That is time to take a break, right? I need to take a breath after all of that. We'll be right back. You're watching the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. I'm Shifa. Stay tuned. Happy Healthy Healing Day. I'm Shifa, the holistic healing voice of the soul of Mother Earth, inviting you to watch the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show every first and third Saturday right here on Access 21 TV. What do we talk about? Everything from juicing to old school tonics and herbs, what you can do to help yourself get better. So tune in to the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show every first and third Saturday at 9 a.m. I look forward to serving you. Hey, this is Shifa from the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show, here to talk to you about, just briefly, our brand new series, Healthy Me Finances. Yeah, we're going to talk about money. We've been talking about our mind and our body and how to take care of ourselves and have a terrific lifestyle. But if your money ain't right, you can't even buy the stuff that you need to make sure that the lifestyle is what you want it to be. So we must address the issue of money. So I'm here, right? I'm not really like all geared up for the show. We're going to do this as a reality TV show. And I'm just here in the gallery. We're here at East Square Artworks. And isn't it just fabulous to talk about money? And why did we choose an art gallery? Because we really want to get to the art of money, right? The true art of money. So healthy finances, raising capital, right? Don't get it twisted. We're here to raise money. We're here to not just for nonprofit. We're talking about how to raise money for your business. Raising capital, the true art of the money game. Welcome back. You're watching the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. We are so excited. You know, one of the things about having a live studio audience, and you should be here, if you're in the Charlotte area, you should be here, is that the conversation that goes on in between, the stuff y'all don't see, right? The outtakes, yeah. Good stuff, right? Juicy, delicious stuff. We are talking about 1,000 Great Minds and bringing solutions to the problems that we continue to talk about. So we're taking the energy that we use to talk about problems to moving that energy to solving problems. So you say that we are problem solution
outside the box, problem solution oriented mountain mover thinkers.
Yes, that's Mr. Mike, y'all. Okay, that's Mr. Mike. Right? I let him say that because after 10 years of putting this program together, and it's amazing watching the minds that are coming, that are drawn to this. Because one of the things that we have realized, that I have realized, right, because I'm just like 7 months on the scene here with 1,000 Great Minds, but one of the things that I have realized is that it attracts great minds, right? It attracts great minds, and it's really wonderful. The mission statement is part of that attraction. It's part of the manifestation of what's actually happening now. So what is the mission statement? What is the...
Yes, well, the mission statement, first of all, is mission control.
Mission control, okay.
That we don't get out of control, that we make sure that we arrive to our destiny where we plan to go, and to serve the people that we plan to serve,
okay,
without any evil, wicked, corrupt practices, behavior, or suggestions about what we do. And it's very important to us that we recognize from here and around the world that we are the central processing unit of the planet, and we plan to be able to stay in connection with 200 countries so that we may instantaneously recognize what all the problems are existing, so that we may come up with instant solutions and bring those problems to rest.
Thank you.
Yes.
And you do it in the embodiment of love, beauty and mercy.
Yes.
Right. See, that's what gets me. One of our folks in Korea, when we were talking with them, and they were talking about how their whole program is well balanced and righteous.
Yes.
Right. It's like, who talks like that? Right. Who talks like that?
Yes.
In a commercial world, competitive world, who talks like that? And so when you said that this is about love, beauty, and mercy, so where did that come from?
It's all about love. The song by Earth, Wind, and Fire, of course.
Okay.
When Maurice says, if there ain't no beauty, you gotta make some beauty. Have mercy.
Okay.
So that's what we do. We have mercy.
Yes,
in an unmerciful world.
In an unmerciful world. Because the current systems and the conditioning and the programming and all the things that we've been taught have captured the human mind into this unmerciful system. And that was when you talked to me about it being merciful, a more merciful merciful systems for living, right? The thing that came to me was that people are under financial intimidation and oppression, whether they admit it or not, right? So in order to drive the nice car and have the great house, right, you are working yourself to an early grave in many cases, right? In many cases. And I'm not saying don't have it. That's not what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that there's a more merciful way to get there than the current system that is in place. And so just think about this. Just think about this. Imagine, how could it be different? How could it be different? And that's what 1,000 Great Minds brings to the table. How can we do this different where people are actually satisfied or fulfilled in their work, right? They're satisfied and fulfilled. They're doing what they love to do, okay? Solving problems in their area of expertise, right? And you said you get $1 million and have $500,000 set aside. You get a house and 2 cars and $500,000 set aside. You work 76 hours. That's part-time. That's 76,000 hours.
Over 5 months.
Over 5
Yes.
months, right? Think we can get some stuff done? Yeah, we can get some stuff done, right? Because everybody comes to the table knowing what their genius is.
If we can have trips around the planet with many people on board, off the planet, around the planet, to another planet, we should have no debt on this planet. And we want the people to get the new education and the new model of reality, the new system for living. We need to understand the ABCs of D, the ABCs of debt.
And that is?
That we all have an account with someone else, and we are always the borrower. And borrowing leads to C. It leads to credit, and credit leads to debt. But the major thing that we need to keep in mind is that someone else has us set up for debt in E, eternal life. I'm not looking for a debt for eternal life for my successors or for myself. I had enough of it.
That's a head scratcher, right? One of those things make you go, because everybody does have an account and several accounts, right? Several accounts that you owe money on, right? That you the borrower.
Yes.
You the borrower.
You got the credit.
You got the credit. And so there's a scripture somewhere that says, owe no man nothing except to love him. Right. And so that goes back to the love, beauty, and mercy.
Yes.
And so within that equation, if the people are always have to have an account, have to be the borrower, have to get credit. And here's the thing about the credit, right? As a business person, one of the things that we recognize, especially when we talk about money, one of the things we have to say to people is don't let the small money bore you and don't let the big money intimidate you. Okay. So when we start talking about the big money, and it's digits, right? Way more than 3, but everybody is hung up on this 3-digit credit score. And that's what defines them. It's what defines them. It's what they do everything to make sure they don't do anything to mess up their 3-digit credit score when the other people are working with hundreds of thousands of millions of billions of trillions of dollars. And credit is not even a conversation.
10 digits, 12 digits, 16 digits.
Yes.
But the people are locked into 3. And we have to break that mindset and evolve to the next paradigm.
Yes. And the next paradigm begins with 1,000 Great Minds. And what I love about it is that it's actually providing people with the first 2 necessities. People need a roof over their head and transportation.
Without the debt.
Without the debt. Right? Without the debt. So how much easier would your life be with no debt?
I think you'd have a lot of time to think.
A lot of time to think, right? And solve problems, right? And solve problems. So this is not about giving us more time to be distracted, right? This is about giving us more time and more
Those 13 dimensions that you mentioned.
Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Because it's part of the holistic healing in terms of healthy finances. So when we bring this all, when we bring it all back around and we talk about healthy, and you said something about the mind, it was non-local. And when we talk about healthy spirit, healthy mind, right? Mind is non-local. Why do I say that? Because the brain is the apparatus that's actually in the body receiving signals from the one mind. Right. And on this planet, there's what's called the noosphere, right? The thinking layer of the planet that has the consciousness of all humanity in it. And you can tune in like a radio station to whatever vibration and frequency you choose, just like when you turn your dial to 101, whatever it is, right? So when we tune in to station 1000 Great Minds, it's such a elevated conversation and vibration that those who can't hear it, we come back for them, right? But for those of us that do hear it, right, we are listening to the one mind. So it's 1000 great minds tuned into the one mind, and I dare say the one mind of the one true absolute creator, sustainer of the universe, because that's where we're all tied into, right? Because I'm not breathing myself, right, or beating my heart, nor are you. So whatever we call it, universal, whatever, right? We do agree that there is a greater power that is giving and guiding us in the direction that we need to go. And how many prayers do you think and meditation and contemplation have gone up to free us from financial slavery?
And it's magnificent that many people say, you're giving people houses and cars. And I think, thank you for treating me or thinking that I am the true almighty absolute.
Right. Because the thing about it is, and thank you for bringing that up, because that's what people say, well, you're just going to give people stuff, right? And it's not about giving. First of all, if you think that there's such a level of selfishness, I'm just going to tell you right up, right front, that there's such a level of selfishness that you don't want anybody else to have, right? Suppose we could just give it to you. You mean you wouldn't take it? Right? You wouldn't want somebody to have it, right? The homeless population is swollen all over, right? We can bring a solution to that, and you would say no. But the participants who actually get the house, and 1000 Great Minds is poised and positioned to serve 50 million people.
Yes.
Right? 50 million people. So wouldn't you want, I would think that you want to help people, and it's not free.
I mean, I know I got a white beard, but I'm not Santa Claus.
Right. So when we come back, we're going to kind of put a bow on this 1000 Great Minds for the moment, because Michael's going to be my co-host, and we're going to continue to have this conversation until we actually are on the other side of it, right? On the other side of the reality
North America.
of it. Yes. All right. And we are going to take a break now. You're watching the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. We'll be right back. Happy Healthy Healing Day. I'm Shifat, the holistic healing voice of the soul of Mother Earth, inviting you to watch the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show every first and third Saturday right here on Access 21 TV. I look forward to serving you.
If you want to get a lot of people very angry at you, and you're in the health profession, it's fairly simple. Begin to cure incurable diseases.
It would ruin the economy. Billions of dollars.
Cancer is one of the richest multi-billion-dollar industries in the world, and every cancer patient is a commodity.
The huge pharmaceutical companies have everybody in their pocket, from the president on down to the senators, representatives. Everybody gets paid.
something's terribly wrong when you treat cancer and your hair falls out and you vomit. This is truly medieval.
People in the United States and developed countries who are treated for cancer don't even die of cancer. They die of the treatment of cancer.
Many years from now, people look back at this time and wonder what kind of Neanderthals we were.
A prophet many years ago, he said, "My people perish for lack of knowledge."
Welcome back. I'm Shifa, the natural healing voice of the soul of Mother Earth, and you are watching the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show. My co-host is Mr. Mike. We are here having a wonderful conversation with our studio audience, and I hope you are taking copious notes with your blue pen and your white paper. And the reason why you're using the blue pen and your white paper is because you are the trustees of your life. Okay, that's a whole nother conversation. All right. So we've been talking about 1,000 Great Minds, and we left on a note of, are we actually giving people houses and cars, right? And the participants work for it, but not in the sense that, not the way this model, right? The work is a much more merciful plan. So tell us a little bit about that plan. So I'm a participant. So what
Yes.
do I need to do?
Yes, you enroll into the program.
Okay.
And there are two things that you do. You make your monthly promise.
Okay.
And also you work 360 hours over 18 months.
Okay.
Yeah.
360 hours
Yes.
over 18 months.
Yes. And it's not like working 360 months paying a mortgage for 30 years. It's 360 hours reduced from 360 months, 30 years to 360 hours. It's a better, faster, easier way. New model of reality, new system for living. And once we all get on that station, once we get on all that number, then we'll be able to serve the planet.
Okay.
Beginning here.
So it ain't free. Right. And I'm all for it not being free, because one thing I know is that in most people's mind, free has no value. Right. So if you have to work for it. Right. Then and the work that's being, the people say, well, what is the work we're going to be doing? Well, we're solving problems. Right.
Right. Helping solve problems.
Right. We're helping to solve problems collectively. And all of the people bring their own skill sets. And they also bring their own issues. Right? Everybody, we all got some baggage, right? So everybody, the healing happens as the whole thing is taking place, because everybody shows up for each other. Everybody shows up. It is so beautiful, so loving, so beautiful, and so merciful.
Yes.
Yeah, so merciful.
And we need that brain, that apparatus, that central processing unit that connects the planet. We don't have that. We have 435 representatives and 100 senators and 9 Supreme Court justices, and 45 makes 545 representatives running the country as the central processing unit of the country. If they're traveling at 3 miles per hour, a vote, you can vote, but you're traveling at 3 miles an hour. So we can come with instant solutions rather than distant solutions. And the heart that is involved with the 1,000 Great Minds, it reminds me of the Koreans and the way they conduct themselves like that. It's
a greeting. It's a greeting, right? Isn't it a big heart?
Yes.
Right? This is how they greet each other. It's like beautiful, right?
And we pick up this character and conduct, and
Yes.
people see that we are not their adversaries and we are not coming to harm them, but to help them.
So here's your part. Here's your part, right? Because we're all in this together. Here's your part. Take out your telephone, right? I know you have it close by, right? Because mine is right here. I don't know too many people who go too many steps away from their phone nowadays. Take out your phone and text the word, all one word, 1,000, 1000, great minds to the number 44222. This is not the same number it used to be, right? For those of you who already text, you got to do it again, right? Because we've grown, and so we had to get a bigger platform. And so the new text messaging is text. Well, that's right. That's right. Yeah. But yeah. Pick up your phone right now. Yes, you pick up your phone right now and text 1,000 great minds. That's the number 1,000 great minds, all one word, to the number 44222. So while you're doing that, I just want to talk about the mindset that this is, that 1,000 great minds is. You're texting 1,000 great minds to the number 44222. What kind of a mind, right, gets attracted to this in the face of having been conditioned, programmed, and trained to do things that are anti-us at the core, okay, anti-us at the core. And if you do things that are anti-you at its core, it makes you anti-yourself. Now, wrap your mind around that one, right? And this whole reframing of who we are and how worthy we are to have a house and a couple cars, and right, for those of you who may not, who may believe that you're struggling and think that the struggle is real. You heard that before, right? What you got to say, Mr. Mike?
Yes, we have to change our minds and understand that the sun rises every day, and these plants grow seasonally. Mm-hmm. They grow and come back, and we live among them. We live together, and that this system is operating on its own, and that intelligence is in the noosphere, as you said.
Yes.
In a place where most people may not know about, but it has intellect, it has intelligence.
Mm-hmm. Intelligence.
In that we continuously empty the ocean and it comes back, and no one has a record of it ever leaving. So that's the wealth and abundance that we all live in. If we can correct our mindsets and get on the same station, it takes one command. Be.
Be. And it is.
And it is.
Yeah.
Just like that. Just like someone say, be a war, and it comes, because they have that artificial power, it would be real.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so the mindset of making it real and coming into a place of being wiser,
yes,
happier, right, healthier, right. That's why we're talking to you about the Ashtaba, right, that being healthier and being wealthier. So how do you begin to shift your mind to be wealthier? Have you ever noticed all the trees? We live in Charlotte, it's a beautiful place, right? All the trees, right? Just think of the abundance. Try to count the leaves on just one tree. Just one tree. Try to count the leaves on just one tree, right? And then look at all the trees that there are all over the planet. How abundant is that? And that will open your mind to the abundance that's really all around us, and cause us to start thinking about how many pebbles of sand are actually on one beach, right? And it'll take us outside of ourselves and help us to realize that we are part of an abundant universe. How many stars do you see in the night sky? Abundance is our birthright. Prosperity is our birthright, not debt. Not debt. And so we have to not celebrate debt. And that's what we do, right? We happy to have a car note, right? And the bigger the note, the more important we think we are. We happy to get the keys and have a mortgage, a death pledge for 30 years. We have to stop celebrating debt and start celebrating the fact that our birthright is prosperity and abundance. And that's what 1,000 Great Minds is really all about. We have 1,000 Great Minds has partnered with some absolutely extraordinary people. One of which is Vine and Fig Tree Resource Center in Concord, right? We've got folks in New Jersey and Arizona and just all over, right? Somebody is in Washington State now, and it's just exploding all over the place, right? 1,000 Great Minds are coming together. Chicago. So I want to encourage us to be healthy, right? To want to be wiser. And we've chosen the Creation and Conservation of Wealth International, Dr. Nettles Bay, as a trainer. Because this dude, right, at 83 years old, is a master Dogon and talks about stuff we ain't heard at all ever in our life. Because there's a lot more going on than we've been taught. There's a lot more going on than we've been taught. And so 1,000 Great Minds is in the solution business, right?
Yes.
What you got to say, Mr. Mike?
Yes,
We have a few
just
more
that
minutes.
the 76 hours is intentionally written as a smooth transition from where we are to where we would be. The stabilized position to be able to help people around the world. And if people can get their minds around that stabilization idea of not having any rent, mortgage, car payments, or debt to pay, and having income set aside for 5 years in a row, 60 months in a row, in addition to gaining co-ownership interest in 8+ core nationwide businesses. The commercial bank or trust, the real estate company, land development construction company, insurance company, online university, temporary transitional staffing company, environmental engineering company. Multi-streams of incomes to the 1,000 Great Minds for doing such a great job.
Yes.
And that just comes from my mind myself, not the other 1,000 Great Minds.
As a token of appreciation for working those 76 hours.
Yes, you get the house.
You get the
and
you get
two
the house and
cars.
2 cars.
And your income set aside for 5 years, not 5 months.
Right. And so that's $8,333 a month.
On the 3rd day of each month.
On the 3rd day, see what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Right, time frames, right? So this has been wonderful having you here as a co-host today. And thank you so much for being here today with us. We're so excited. And thank you for being here, those of you who are watching us wherever you're watching, whether it's on your TV or on the internet or you're listening on the radio. We love you. Thank you for watching the Oneness Wellness Lifestyle Show, and we'll see you again next time.